Hey everybody, welcome to another EVE Online video on low sec ratting. Last time I made a video for low sec ratting in cruisers, one of my viewers suggested that a Vexer is a very good ship to do it in, and I totally agree, so that's why I wanted to make another video specifically for low sec ratting in a Vexer. Now I tried to play around with the fit of the ship, and I had a little bit of problem fitting everything I wanted to because of the CPU and the power grid constraints, but I think I figured out a way to have all the mods that I needed to have for low sec ratting. So first let's start with the high slots. I have 4 of the 200mm compressed coil gun. This is a hybrid railgun which has a bit of a long range, and I equipped it with the lead charge because it does not have any penalties towards the range of the gun. As you can see right here, nope, this is the gun, that the range bonus is 0. Meanwhile, when you equipped antimatter, the range bonus is minus 50%. And for this ship, I wanted to make it so that it's a very ranged ship, and I didn't want to rely exclusively on the drone damage. That's why I fit the 4 guns in here. Now when it comes to the medium slots, what I have installed is the micro warp drive, the tracking computer, the target painter, and the carpet charger. Now the target painter, I'm not sure if it really helps out a lot, simply because usually we're targeting the battleships which have a really big signature radius. But at the same time, I hope that it helps a little bit, especially when it comes to long range targeting like I do with the weapons here. And the tracking computer has the optimal range script installed, which helps my weapons have a better optimal range. For the low slots, what I have installed is the medium armor repair, 2 energized adaptive nanomembranes, and 2 drone damage amplifiers. This mod right here is very important because this is what's gonna give your drones much higher DPS, and technically this is what we're gonna rely on for the most part when it comes to our DPS. For the drones themselves, what I like to use are the hammerheads. They give a bit of a middle ground between speed and the DPS, so you don't want to go with the heavy drones. At the same time, you don't really want to use the light drones because they just won't be able to output enough DPS. And I like to equip more than I need, so technically I'm supposed to have 10 of these, but because of one thing that happened that I'm going to show you later on in the video, now I have 4, so I lost 1. And which is not really a big problem, especially if you carry extras, because down the road maybe a rat will aggro your drone and you won't be able to pull it back in time, or somebody warps in on you in the asteroid belt and you have to ditch your drones in order to get out yourself. So it's always good to have some extra drones packed just in case. And I also have these 5 drones in my drone base simply because these are the ECM drones. You may not be able to use them right away, especially if you're a new player, but these may help you out if somebody's trying to warp scramble you. So these I just like to keep as a bit of an insurance policy. So this is pretty much the fit right here, and I'd like to show you what I've been able to do with it in low sec. When it comes to low sec ratting in a Vexer, typically I would recommend warping in at about maybe 70 to 100 kilometers away from the asteroid belt. That serves a dual purpose. First off, you will be away from the rats, you will get your range right away, and you'll be able to draw the rats away from the center of the asteroid belt, usually where everybody else will warp in if they want to try to get you. Next, just try to get into the optimal range away from your enemy and start deploying your drones as well as using the target painter and your weapons. The tank in the ship is not super heavy, but it should be enough for what you're trying to do. Basically you have to kite the damage staying away from your target as far as possible while maintaining that range for your weapons and drones. Because there's a lot of people in the system, I didn't have time to take a good look at the loot and cherry pick what I wanted to take. In this case, it's best to loot it all and get out of there as soon as possible. But as usual, the loot drop from the battleship does not disappoint. Attacking the high-value battlecruisers works much the same way. Even though it may be a little bit tougher to stay away from them, leaving you open to higher incoming DPS, combining your drones and your weapons should take care of them really easily. Just keep an eye on your armor level and repair it as needed. And finally, I'm very excited to show you what happens when somebody warps in on you while you're trying to rat and starts attacking you. I found this cruiser with a very high bounty, which probably had quite an expensive loot inside, but I never found out. My first sign of trouble was when this rat started to scramble me. I did not expect that at all. But more importantly, I couldn't sustain the tank, and my DPS was not enough to destroy the ship in time. As I was trying to get out of the warp disruptor range, a player that I was tracking in my directional scanner appeared at the asteroid belt. Luckily, it took him some time to get to me, and in that amount of time I was able to get out of the range of the warp disruptor and safely warp away. It was definitely a close call, but as you can see, keeping your distance away from the warping point of the asteroid belt helps out a great deal when somebody's trying to hunt you down. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about riding in a low sec in a Vexer, please comment on this video. And you can check out my other 2 videos on riding in low sec in cruisers and frigates. Safe flying out there!